In this episode, I explain to you why I'm going to be doing more videos and importantly, something useful for you, discussing anger, particularly with our children. Hi there, my name is Ben Jackson. This will be my kind of first step into creating kind of weekly or fortnightly videos about parenting. And that comes from my experience as a parent of 3 kids, but also because I work with parents in helping manage kind of work-life balance, changes at home, changes at work. And I also work with children in schools, doing one-to-one work or doing seminars or groups, and even talking to teachers as well. So I want to make these videos specific to parents, families, in whatever shape and form they come. My goal really is to, as I do with all my work, is to give away my best advice, techniques, thoughts and ideas, but also to say that I'm not kind of standing here from the pulpit dictating this is the only way to do something. I'm literally putting ideas that have worked for myself or for clients or for children that have created a positive impact in their lives. I'm certainly not getting it right all the time. In fact, I probably fail more times than I get it right, but I know when I do get it right, there's some good successes there and some good lessons, which I hope you can take some benefit from. My other remit, as well as kind of giving advice and guidance and just giving away all that I can about how you might want to consider improving your parenting or dealing with a particular challenge, is to really kind of share my own personal life with my children. So you don't just get the kind of great advice and the suggestions there, but you also see what challenges I can go through and really kind of give you a lot of authenticity and hopefully trust that I'm kind of have a handle on what I'm talking about, as much as being a coach, but it's about being a parent, which I think brings its own set of challenges. And I, to be honest with you, think they are deeply underrated challenges in terms of how people see parents or parenting, particularly when it comes to the workplace. But maybe that's for another episode. But today I wanted to talk about one thing very important, and that's maybe not all kind of light and fluffy, but it's about emotions, and in particular, anger. I was in a bookshop only yesterday and came across a book that was talking about the volcano in my tummy, which was about accepting emotions and dealing with anger and frustration. And it came to kind of my mind, or at least I connected with some of the talks I've done recently, is about how anger can be seen as a negative thing. Now, when I've been talking with the students and explaining it, I say I believe, and there's something that's backed up in the book, that anger is a natural and useful emotion. It's not unhealthy, it can be very, very healthy. The feeling of anger, there's nothing wrong in it. What we then do, the behaviour from that emotion, now that could be something we can talk about, because maybe the behaviour based off the anger needs a different direction. So we can take the anger as being a good thing, but the direction, the output. So if you imagine that the emotion is like a projector, and then the actual delivery of that, the behavior, is a projection onto the screen. If we can change the projection, something that's more useful, then that's more beneficial for everyone, and maybe it's healthier. So one of the things I was reading the book, and one of the things I talk about, is about how can we actually redirect anger in a more positive way. So say, accepting it happens, we get frustrated. Maybe your children has kind of rage quit when it comes to playing their online games. It's about how we can then find different alternatives to manage those emotions. Now, I found that accepting, first I think if I'm doing through a step of anything at all, when my children have been angry of anything, it's never to deny that they are feeling angry. I don't undermine that they are feeling angry or upset with each other or something else has happened. I allow them to accept it and acknowledge they're feeling that way. One of the things that we can also maybe historically do is kind of deny them that. We say, oh, don't be so silly. That's not a big problem. You're making a big deal. Let's not do that anymore. Let's not denigrate our children to kind of belittle their feelings. Acknowledge they're feeling angry and frustrated and give them the space to process that. And there'll be a time when, as a parent, you might know when you can add some more information. And one of the ways we can then help them is saying, well, let's find ways to express that anger. What can we do? You can suggest punching a pillow. I've mentioned to my eldest son, who's nearly 14, if he feels angry, then go and punch a pillow. That's okay. It gets it out. It's far better than keeping it in. If it means they have to go off on a cycle ride or run around the block, or go quietly and go and do a crossword or play on a game or an activity or Lego, help them find ways to process. One of the things I've done with my kids, I think it was last year at some point, my two boys were arguing, my youngest being 9, eldest nearly 14, and big 5-year gap can create lots of tension, as you can imagine. And so I said to my, as they were getting quite turbulent, I said to my two kids, okay, stop. And I came in with quite a forceful voice, as if I was going to tell them off. And I sat them down at the table and I said, right, you've got 5 minutes, colour in these 2 books. And the 2 books were one of the colouring books you may have seen quite everywhere now for kids, which is basically, and I said, you've got 5 minutes and you're going to colour in these pictures. And I actually transformed that situation from being argumentative to an activity which they could focus on and just kind of break their pattern. That's one way of doing it. Punching a pillow is another way of doing it. Running around the block, kicking a ball around the garden. These are all ways of processing it. Or if there's someone needs to kind of like be more internal, some quiet time to reflect, to go and read a book. Those things will happen a lot easier when we come back from the starting point of accepting and acknowledging that emotion is a good thing, and we're not going to criticize or knock our children for having those feelings. So giving you something there which may be useful, a useful understanding of it. We certainly can't ever stop feeling angry over certain things or frustrated. That's going to be part of life. Like failure can be quite part of our lives. It's how we deal with it, how we process it, and the ways we manage it that helps us cope. So for this particular video about emotions, dealing with anger in a positive and empowering way for our kids. And if you have got something from this video, then please give it a like or share it. You never know when friends or family need this kind of information, this particular message. So please share it, that'd be great. Any questions, drop me a comment and I'll reply to every single one of you. If you want to check me out on Instagram, I am at Ben Jackson Coach there. And you can always DM me a message if you want to there too. But other than that, I will leave you for the day. I hope you're doing fantastically well wherever you are, and I'll catch you in the next episode.